Role-playing video games. Japanese animation. It's a match made in heaven. Or is it? Join us as we take a journey through RPG animes of yesteryear. TV shows, OVAs, movies, titties. We're doing it all. So join us right here, right now, at the Summer RPG Anime Festival.
Hello, Hysteria people. It's your boy Dre, and I am here with Steve Fact.
Wise. Fuck.
Come on, we can't call Ys wise this early. People are going to think we're a bunch of scrubs.
Man, I don't think I ever knew how it was actually said until they put out the trailer for Lacrimosa Dana. And someone said it aloud.
I think I read a pronunciation in EGM or something like that on like a review of Ys 3 or something. That's how I knew. He spelled it E-A-S-E, like the word ease. Otherwise, I don't think I would have known before, I got the Turbo CD version on Virtual Console and heard the intro.
Yeah, that too.
All right, let's just get started. And tell the people what we were watching. They already know.
We said we're going to watch Ys, and that's what we did. We got Ys. It was originally released in 1989 as Ys Book 1 and Book 2 on VHS in Japan, but that only covers the first game. Also, I know there's some armchair listeners out there going, aren't you going out of order? 1989's before a bunch of those other things you did. Yeah, but yeah, we wouldn't get it in English until 2002, 2003 on DVD. I mean, that's a choice.
Yeah. So I guess I should say that sometime in the early 2010s, I found quote unquote book 2 of Ys secondhand somewhere, which I believe has episodes 5 through 7. And I sat on it for a little bit because I'm like, okay, maybe I'll find the first one, but I never really did, so I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll just watch this. Me and Ben watched it one day when he was visiting down here. So I've watched those before, the second half of this anime in Japanese with subtitles. And I remember it playing out in a fairly interesting way compared to the game. So I was pretty excited to reevaluate this while actually getting to see all the episodes this time, and of course dubbed, because on for the purposes of this series, we always watch English dubs if we can, because, well, we're like that.
Except for Princess Minerva, which is an imaginary game anyway.
Yeah, who knows? Was that a real video game? Is Japan real?
I don't know. After I watched it online, I kept getting a few very long playthrough videos. Man, if I had 15 hours to spare, I too can watch Princess Minerva on PC 98 being played through for me.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's the only way we're going to get to quote unquote play that game. So
yeah, I did look on our fancy fine time consoles Kevin made. None of the translated games or any of the Princess Minervas. I'm
not surprised.
I mean, Kevin's a pervert. I figured he'd see naked girl on the cover and thought we needed that in our lives.
We could play anime real or fake with him. 90s anime real or fake. He would get like everyone wrong. There's no way he knows about this.
No.
Yeah.
Well, this one was actually produced by Neon Falcon. I've heard of them.
Neon Falcon?
And King Records. So this is like the only one that I recognize where it's like, we are putting our name on the cover of this. It's not like where you have to look in the credits like based on a property adapted by Nintendo or from Squaresoft. Like no, it's like produced by Neon Falcon.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Their name is up here.
That means we have to take this very seriously.
Okay, very, very well. I mean, look, they did take the material very seriously. This is a pretty straight ahead adaptation. In fact, I would say this is the only direct game adaptation we've done, I think, because I guess Fire Emblem was as well, but that was left pretty incomplete. Dragon Warrior was like an original story. Princess Minerva was like a prequel, and Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals was a sequel. So this Ys is like the only time we're like directly adapting the game so far, which is kind of interesting.
But not too directly, because Adol, or Adal, if we're going to be this dub, starts this whole series by trying to charter a ship to Ys 1.
To the land of Ys 1. Ys 1 must begin, so I must get a boat there.
But I played through the Turbo CD version on the one you got me all over again. I'm like, yeah, he just kind of pops off the boat there.
Yeah, off a big, like, cruise ship kind of thing. But this is like, in this, he just takes a little dinghy and he just ends up washed up on the shore of Asteria.
Well, that's because the guy running the port was like, he was doing the Miyagi thing of like giving him chores, but they're really training him to, be a man on his adventure.
Yep. And, and that's why it's not an absolute direct adaptation, right? Because they expand greatly upon all these things. Like, we didn't really, again, like you said, we didn't really see how Ys, I just called Adol Ys, and we didn't see how the legendary Ys got there to the shore of Ys. He just sort of appears. This, is going through all the shit and like just looking around. Do you like when he got to the port town? He was just looking around and wonder, wow, there's stuff here.
It was like his first time being anywhere. Wow. Bird shit.
His first time letting him outside.
No wonder he's adventure sexual.
I mean, shit, he wants to go everywhere. I guess before we get too far down the road, I should say this. Any Ys head knows that Adol is a silent protagonist. He's talked a little bit in voice clips here and there, and like as the series has gone on, right? But at this point in time, he hadn't said like a single word in any game. But of course, an anime necessitates that he has to talk, and he is certainly talking here. And it's kind of weird at first, Steve. It feels a little forbidden.
He has to talk. That's, you just said it. The anime makes that required. Next year, we're all going to see a Zelda movie, and Link has to talk there too. Yeah,
Link is going to be talking. That's going to be weird. This is also why I've always secretly wished for a Chrono Trigger anime, because Chrono, that bitch needs to talk.
Ooh, I'm sorry, Andre. The best we can do there is a bunch of cutscenes from the PlayStation port that got much better versions later, and a 10-minute OVA where a bunch of fiends are fucking around the Millennium Fair the night before. That's the best I got for you, Andre. Tough shit.
But this Chrono, he doesn't talk, does he?
Nope.
Yeah. So I forgot about that, by the way. I forgot about that short OAV. Hey, do you remember the 20-minute OAV they stuck on Maverick Hunter X on PSP?
The Day of Sigma. It's on the Mario Collections too, upscaled in HD.
That's fucking right. I forgot they put that on there. Yeah, that was a tactic at the time, I guess, huh? We're going to put a fancy movie on this UMD.
That's a very special dub too. It's like, these marks couldn't be left by a normal Reploid, and like it takes them forever to figure out it was fucking Sigma.
It's like, we know it's Sigma. Just start with the knowledge in your head. We know, the audience. You should also know.
Kill Penguin Unit.
Just a wild, what a time, right? Holy shit. I love this anime. I don't think I have to tell. I mean, you know that already. This shit's great. I think I've said pretty much about every one of these so far. If you like the property, you will like this anime. That goes completely true for Ys as well. Like, this shit nails the look of that first game perfectly. Every main character, townsperson, sailor, everybody looks dead on. There's something about those first two games, Steve, where it's like, especially in cutscenes, like on Turbo CD, they all have that kind of Jehovah's Witness pamphlet look to them. You know what I mean, though, right? Like, and I obviously don't mean that in a bad way. It really works for this game with people wearing robes and bracelets and color tones that kind of feel biblical, right? The anime gets this really correct. And quite frankly, I think that kind of makes it kind of magical that it looks like that.
I mean, there's just a lot of different things they do to try and make it, so we don't get the bump foo, of course. That would have been, I don't know, funny.
That would have been fun, but obviously you can't have that in an anime.
We got the top-down view of him swinging the sword without discretion. That's mostly the same.
That was really funny. I can't believe they did that. That was like, we see you motherfuckers, and here it is.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, we do get the general cast too, like Adol, Dogi, which I get. Would they have called him Colin, and if they put this out in time? Because I don't know if they would have. I think they might have.
I don't think they would have called him Colin. For those who don't know, in the TurboGrafx CD version of Ys Book 1 and 2, which is the first localization of Ys we ever got here, Dogi's name is Colin. We don't know why his name is Colin. They just straight up decided to change that. So, but no, in this anime, he is Dogi. And no, if they had translated this back in the day, let's say 80 Vision or something got a hold of it, no, I don't think they would have called him Colin.
Oh, you know what they would have did? They would have saw Dogi, and they would have been like, you know what? This guy's Doug now.
Yeah, I could see that. And you know what? I would have been okay with that. That's at least that's not a completely different name.
I mean, better than Dark Factor, which I guess someone corrected them on in the last few episodes, because he's the Dark Factor the whole time, and then like the last part they just settle on Dark Fact. So I don't know.
Yeah, Dark Factor. But and here's the thing, because like I said, I only had the DVD of episodes 5 through 7, and I watched it in Japanese, so I only saw Dark Fact. And so even if I had turned that shit to English, I still would have heard them call them Dark Fact. So I would have never known that they called him Dark Factor in the first 4 episodes. But I'm sure you noticed, even after they started calling him Dark Fact, his henchmen or whatever called him Dark Factor again, like in his head or whatever, when he was thinking about, when Dark Factor hears about this, blah, blah, blah. And like, they just went back to it.
Yeah, you know how you always say, like, well, just because it's the new decade doesn't mean we necessarily still have the music switches over right away. The 90s dubs also did not change right away either.
No, they sure didn't. This is a 90s dub, even though it came out in 2002. This is still a 90s dub for sure. There's all sorts of name stuff, like Luta Gemma is Ruda Gemma in this, Ruda Gemma, which is a difference. The Loda tree, they said, not the Rhoda tree.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, that I gotta tell. Okay, full disclosure for the audience, I only know there was an Ys anime in the first place because at 3 a.m. or something, it's all the dumb shit happens at 3 a.m. when Andre sends me the 5-second clip online of the Japanese road tree going, "Hey, dull Christian." And he's just staring in bewilderment, like,
yeah. It's the gasp he does after that, like, he said my name.
Tree's fucking haunted.
Adol Christian. But, we always make fun of the games for saying his name so much. Here's Adol Christian. They do that so much in this anime as well. God.
Don't you mean a doll?
See, that's another thing that happens, though, in almost at season 5. In episode 5, they start saying a doll. Not Adol. I feel like in the first 4 they say Adol.
I feel like it was half and half for the first, but then they really leaned into a doll.
90s dub from 2002. Everybody, like, Jesus Christ. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm okay with all these weird little name changes because, like you said, the TurboGrafx CD version doesn't get everything right either. Because, like we said, Dogi's name is Colin for some reason. Darm Tower is Dom Tower. Dham. Dom Tower.
Is it? I heard Darm, but that could have just been audio, or me just filling in a blank like it usually does.
Yeah, no, it's Dom Tower on TurboGrafx CD. Also, Leah's name is Lair. like the other goddess, Fina and Leah, lair, like as in dragon's lair.
That sounds like a translation you'd make in the game, not this.
Yeah, so I don't know why I don't know why. So yeah, the TurboGrafx CD version doesn't get everything right either. But yeah, it's, it is what it is. It's just interesting translation quirks. One of the key features of Ys Book 1 and 2 on TurboGrafx CD is that it does have voice-acted cutscenes, which obviously for the year of our Lord 1990, that was bonkers. Like, we just hadn't heard anything like that here before, not in a role-playing game. And I was thinking that maybe they could have gotten some of the actors from the game to do this anime, but then, of course, as I found out, we got this in the early 2000s and not in the 90s. That's highly unlikely. I did not scan the voices from each version and see if any of them match, because I doubt any of them did, and it doesn't really matter if they did or not. But Ruta Gemma's voice in the game is pretty distinctive. That was definitely not the same guy here. But yeah, regardless, the dub job here is about what you might expect for the time. And like you said, just because it was 2002 doesn't mean it's not still the 90s. And it was good. I mean, good for what it is. This deserves that, considering most people's idea of an Ys game having voices is that TurboGrafx CD game. This kind of fits right along with that.
I think it was important. Well, Falcom definitely thought it was important to do that anyway. And I'm sure if they did produce this back in the day, they might have tried getting those actors back in, but it just wasn't happening. I just found it interesting how, there's this, we're following Ys 1, the tree and different. Oh, they stole all the silver. I wonder why they fucking did that, Andre. But I've only played Ys 1 twice on the TurboGrafx version, actually. And we spend most of that game in Darm Tower.
Yes, we do. Like half the game is Darm Tower.
So I found it very interesting how this made the choice to, do the world building before we get to the tower and just cram all that in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I like the approach here of how they switch stuff up, because it's like you said, they spent the entire half of the first episode showing how Adal gets on a boat to Asteria. In the game, he just shows up on the regular big ass boat, but here it's like a whole thing, and it's like that to me feels like the point of this anime. It's telling you the story from the game that you already know, and then greatly expands on it. Like all the character stuff, like Sarah, the fortune teller in the first town. Typically in the game, she just says, "Hey, here's a bit of money. Go buy a sword and shield and be on your way." That's her entire reason for being there. Obviously, in this anime, she's in pretty much all the episodes, and she has an entire arc. She's a character now, which is crazy. That's really cool. You don't get that in the games. It's something that's kind of hinted at. You know what's also hinted at in the games that you don't really get here is that because Jebba is taking care of Fina or whatever, or not necessarily living with her or whatever. And, they have those whole scenes at the end. I think if you'd like my daughter, blah, 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 but obviously you don't get that in the game. You just show up and then Fina's gone. She has become the goddess of Ys, right? And that's kind of all you get in the game. In this anime, you get all that stuff greatly expanded. So you get all the character stuff that kind of happens off screen, I guess, in lieu of getting less of the actual game stuff. When he gets to the palace, the solemn shrine, whatever, that's not really much of a thing. He just kind of goes in there, finds Fina, beats the monster, and leaves. You know what a big fucking labyrinth that was in the game. That's not in this anime. So they kind of skip that stuff in favor of character stuff, which I think is the right call, Steve.
Yeah, I think it would have been very awkward to have an anime where Adolf frequently presses pause to turn on the thing that lets him cross through mirrors. And
yeah.
Okay, you know what else? You know what was really weird about this? Adolf has a dad.
Yeah.
Going back to our Firebulb conversation, I don't see Adol as a person as much as the adventure sexual guy who keeps getting into shenanigans somehow. So seeing him as a child with a father felt illegal to me.
It was weird.
I mean, this doesn't stop him from being the adventure sexual guy here, because you got Fina and all kinds of women throwing himself at him like, no, the adventure is my mistress. I can't fuck you right now. I have to save Adrestia.
You know, it's funny that they just carry that throughout the whole like game series as well, because now every game is basically like, hey, we found these journals of this adventurer named Adol the Red. Let's read some of his journals and see what he was up to. And then a game begins, depending on what story, what journal they're reading. That's the whole conceit of Ys now. And like, I love that at the end of pretty much every Ys game. This happened in 8 too, if you remember. Like, as soon as the game is over, as soon as it's solved, Adel is kind of just eyeballing the ocean or the ship like, can I get out of here? I got some shit to see. Like, he cannot wait to leave after the shit's done. Like, so he is definitely adventure sexual.
Yeah, that's him, all right. I just found it impressive. Not impressed. Well, it was interesting that they made it that way here, because I feel like being a pervert is the default mode of 90s anime.
Mm-hmm. Sure is. But Adol does not appear to be interested in a single tit or dick or anything else. Like, he is just focused.
A literal goddess is flinging himself at him, and nope, he won't have it.
Yeah. And that's another thing that happens. Fina and Leia, or, Fina's, obviously felt for Adol that way, and she so much as says so. I wish I could have spent more time with him, blah blah blah. That's not stuff you really get from it's implied in the games, but you don't really get that so much. So I think all that character stuff is very cool. It's almost like practically the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth version of Ys, only it's an anime. That's kind of how different it is, how expanded it is.
Yeah, that fits. Even if it is, I say only 7 episodes, 6 episodes.
Yeah.
How many episodes? A bunch
7.
of episodes.
If you don't mind, Steve, I must talk about the music, because I have to. Because before I knew anything about Ys, I knew about the music. Every magazine just went on about how great the music was. That's the first thing I ever knew about Ys. And it is a legendary soundtrack, the first 2 Ys games done by Yuzo Koshiro and others. But I think by the time this came out, in Japan anyway, there was the TurboGrafx CD version of Ys Book 1 and 2, unleashing what is maybe the most important RPG soundtrack ever. And I don't think that's hyperbole.
Maybe a little bit of hyperbole.
Before
we get added.
I feel like that is the RPG music Bible that sets the tone for the rest of the decade.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
In my opinion. But anyway, in turn, the music in this anime does exactly what you might expect it to. It's very rock forward versions of the music from the game, which are already rock forward, plus some originals here and there in less important scenes. The thing about Ys Book 1 and 2 is that no matter how many times they remake those 2 games, and they have a million times, the soundtrack always has a fresh take. Like, I could talk forever about which songs are my favorite from which particular version and shit, which I'll spare you today, I promise. But the anime gives yet another fresh take on that material. That is not a soundtrack I will ever really get tired of. I will always appreciate every take on it, and this is a new one. Ooh, when they first played Tower of the Shadow of Death, the Darm Tower song, for lack of a better term. Oh, baby. I think I almost had an orgasm in our chat. Holy shit.
That's what that sound was.
Sorry. The amount of water emojis, I couldn't hold back.
You really couldn't there.
No.
Yeah, I just thought it was I thought it was a good time. Again, I've only played Ys like a handful of times. Here's a sentence I regret. Maybe I should play more versions of Ys so I could be as obsessed with it as you are. Look, you've played the Turbo CD one twice. I think that's pretty damn good. I mean, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on in here too. Like, do you know how tall the Tower of Dharma is? 25 stories. I don't know if it's the dub or what, but I feel like this was supposed to have more weight.
I don't know. The dub was kind of Ruda Jima's voice was kind of be like, was he supposed to be Jesus or was he supposed to be like just like I am a dude who plays guitar sometimes or the lute?
I mean that is who Ruda Jima is, though. He's a guy that plays guitar sometimes.
I guess.
I don't know. I just hear Kevin going in the background like, don't you have bigger buildings in your own backyard? So even 25 stories isn't that big.
Hey, it was big when well, he thinks like everything in the entire state of New York is one giant skyscraper, like wall to wall skyscrapers. So
speaking of I keep swapping back here. Yeah, I like how Dogi unlocks the door with a basic bitch key because he's a thief, but then like a second later he rams down the door anyway. Like they remembered, like they suddenly remembered, oh shit, that Dogi doesn't open doors gently. He breaks through them. What are we doing?
Yeah, that's how we get introduced to Dogi, excuse me, Colin, in the TurboGrafx CD game when you're in Darm Tower. But here he finds Adol washed up on shore near the town of Minia. So he's there from like the beginning. And all the characters you hear from the beginning, they don't like kind of slowly pepper them through. They're just kind of like around, which is, you know, again, that's a big change. But, you know, the events of the game are still the events of the game. Dark Fact is a terrible villain. Can I say that? He is a fucking awful villain.
He's not that great in the game either. He's just, if it wasn't for the tower, he wouldn't be shit.
No, the tower is the real villain. He's just kind of on top of it.
And I always make fun of that original record, like, you cannot beat me without the silver equipment. But here, but here he's like going on these tirades on what is good and what is evil. Like it's fucking 1998. We're playing Final Fantasy VII, and it's like, geez, you're gonna cut yourself on all that silver you bred on that edge there. Well, holy shit!
I mean, God, yeah, he's just like, only evil is the way. And it's just like, you are such a bumbling fucking fool. Let Adol live. Who gives a shit? He can climb the tower all he wants. You don't know anything, you bumbling. He's talking to his servant, and he's like, fine, fuck you. I'll kill him myself or something. I don't know. Dark Fact is just a bad villain.
I don't know. Eventually makes it to the top and different. Okay, that was a fun touch. They actually changed Adol's armor every few episodes.
They did do that.
Like they did not have to do that, but
that's like the only real RPG thing that they do here. Besides the first town where that guy, the gray beard guy, is like, here, take these herbs. They can heal you, or you can brew them in a drink, or you can rub them on your wounds. Like it's a literal, like he's literally giving him green herbs from an RPG. Well, I guess he is.
Look, this isn't even the first Adol Christian that came into town, according to Jiva. I knew 3 Adol Christians before you got here, and one of them was an 8-year-old girl. I'm like,
okay.
I feel like that's almost the story we should be telling, but all right, whatever.
That was such a weird throwaway thing for her to say. Like that was bizarre, honestly.
And that was after we already had a weird throwaway thing in the beginning where the innkeeper's all Adol Christian. That's a weird name.
Yeah, but if there was 3 in town, whatever, man. It's just strange. I don't know if I have. Whoa, okay. I got to talk about this real quick. I like how episode 4 basically does not waste any time establishing how Adol and Dogi become boyfriend and boyfriend.
Oh God, those are. You just need to check the Fine Time feed. We stuck one on there, but they are getting close in that tunnel.
Oh, their relationship changed that day.
They are in kissing distance a lot of the time.
Do you like how in episode 5 Dogi practically swoons when he sees Adol in the Claria armor, like when he gets the armor from the Rhoda tree?
That is hot.
It's like, oh man, just kiss already. Maybe Ys 11 they'll finally kiss, huh?
He can't. No, he can't. It's only the adventure for him.
Oh, okay. I get it.
I mean, maybe they kiss off screen, to like relieve some tension, but he can't get into a committed relationship with Dogi.
Well, no, it's just a kiss. It's just a bromance. It's not like a real, like,
Maybe Eleven will be the one that's brave enough to show it on screen.
Okay. That should just be the cover of Ys 11, them kissing. You got anything else here before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much this actually matters. There's just a lot of weird little moments where the scenes just hang there for a bit in silence.
Like when?
Like in season 4, like season 4, like they wasn't on that long. It might have not even been that one. There's like Fina and Gemma are at the house and they're just staring at each other for like a minute. Like I feel like I'm all for a meaningful pause, but I feel like all that really added was runtime.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they spend a lot of time cramming in expository dialogue. You'd think there'd be more urgency on the production side of things, to keep things moving. But then you have moments like that where it's like, you gonna say something? We could say the dialogues again. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, the only time I really felt that it was the first episode when he's walking around the town and looking at everybody. They kind of did that for a while. They did it for like a solid 45 seconds and then reran the same animation of him walking forward and then like looking out. So I'm like, okay, weird, but whatever. I think they just had to pad out a few seconds. Killer ending theme, by the way. Excellent.
Well,
nice and easy.
Really, Henry? You've stuck me in the penalty box for less.
Well, oh, come on, man. Let me have one e-spun. One. I never allow myself any of them.
Oh, fine.
Thank you. God.
That's your allocation for the year, though.
In retrospect, I think it's a little bizarre that it took Ys until the early 2000s to come here, because I get that it wasn't exactly a household name when the first two were coming out here on TurboGrafx CD, because who had that thing? And I only knew about Ys 3 because of magazines, and two weird Mormon brothers let me borrow their SNES version one time. But lack of recognition sure didn't stop Princess Minerva or Fire Emblem, and Ys actually had games come out in North America. Those two didn't. So I don't know why it took so long.
Well, there's a lot of violence in this one, so they couldn't do the Dragon Quest thing where you tone it down a little bit and release it as is. I mean, things get stabbed and they bleed, so this would have needed to be an ADV or somebody production, not if you released it at the time.
True.
Although, why I think we actually got it, I was reading around online, and the DVDs had a trailer for an Ys 4 adaptation that they tried shopping around for a studio for, and they had no takers. So somebody on the inside had some kind of push, was going for some kind of push for Ys exposure in the early aughts that Media Blaster here took a shot on, because, but at the time, the Ys releases weren't exactly flowing anywhere for a minute.
No. And also, Ys 4 itself has its own messy history of having two completely different games on Turbo CD and SNES. And now it has its own remake, which is not like any of them, called Memory of Celceta.
Oh, well, okay, yes, I should also say none of these have been official uploads because, how can we? Yeah. But Falcom doesn't give a fuck, because for Ys and Ys 2 were spoilers. They decided, when I was searching for those, I managed to get the sponsored banners where every store in the world right now will sell me Ys Memoir Revelations in Celceta, available now for $59.99.
Jesus Christ. I didn't even pay $59.99 on Vita. Well, yes, I did, because I bought the special edition. But, you shouldn't.
Well, it's the revised edition, isn't it? That should be worth it, maybe.
I don't think those memoir versions, because there's like a Ys memoir version of Oath in Felghana as well. I don't think that really changes too much.
I mean, I'll wait for a sale, but I mean, I just found it interesting that I was searching for an Ys 1 anime, and they're like, "Hey, You want to buy some video games?
Yes, you do. You played Ys Origin, right?
I have it. I didn't play it yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You definitely should
I need to get
time.
there.
Yeah. You know the premise, right?
Yes.
Okay. Really good shit. Anyway, we've talked enough about Ys. What are we watching next time, Steve?
Well, everyone else likes to pair Ys 1 and 2 together, and so are we. Ys 2.
Ys 2. See you then.